Welcome to Formula Fanatics, the high-octane sub-series of break-fix podcasts, Drive Thru motorsports news. This is your pit stop for all things Formula One, from breaking headlines and race recaps to insider analysis and paddock buzz. Whether you're a diehard tifoso, a Red Bull loyalist, or just love the thrill of wheel-to-wheel racing, we've got you covered with up-to-date F1 news delivered at full throttle. Strap in, because the lights are out and we're underway. This is Formula Fanatics.
All right, Formula One, it's almost March.
Formula March 7th.
That's not the first race? That's Australia?
Yes.
Man, we got to get that Apple TV subscription turned up.
It went live today, apparently.
Okay, I was wondering when that was going to happen. So that's the other big thing. Right now, we can link our Apple TV to the Formula One app and still use the Formula One app like we used to use the Formula One app.
And then they say that after I deleted it. Because I was like, what do I need this for?
Yeah, I deleted it too.
Freaking hokey pokey, right? Why couldn't they have just said that from the beginning?
I don't know. But then you'd still have to log in with the Apple, right? Your Apple creds? I don't even know.
I don't know how it's going to work. We're going to have to figure it out. March 7th, so not that far away. Brad, you said the Formula One calendar is available to like download, to like put on your phone and stuff. Like it'll actually add it to your like iCal.
Yeah, I have not the F1 TV app on my phone, but the actual F1 app. And when you go to schedule, there's a downloadable schedule for Apple Outlook and Google
Oh, that's
Calendars.
awesome.
Yeah, so I added it to both my Apple and Google calendars.
Nice. I have to do that too. I did it manually last year like a fool, and I'm looking for the easy button so I don't miss the races.
Yeah, and I get notifications. So like if I pull up my calendar right now, not to belabor this point or whatever, but yeah, I see Formula One, Aramco preseason testing, which is all going on tomorrow in Bahrain. So they're testing this week in Bahrain, and then March 5th, I guess the Australian Grand Prix.
Well, they're in Australia. They have the practices and then
And then
qualifying, the
Sunday's
races,
Yeah.
the 7th at 11 p.m. So we'll be seeing it on the 8th.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of schedules, Franz Herman might be making some more debuts this year. What was this whole scuttlebutt about racing schedules?
Didn't we talk about this last time too?
No, we did not.
When did we have all these conversations? Were we talking?
They always happen like the day after.
Well, yes, because he's interested in endurance racing and is one of the, I think it's the Nordschleife endurance race. Essentially, they're moving around the dates of that race to accommodate the Formula One schedule so he can participate.
That's some serious influence right there. How much power does Max Verstappen wield if he can get the sanctioning bodies to change their schedules for him?
I mean,
that's baller.
He'll draw a crowd, so
I want to see it. Is that going to be on the FIA WEC Plus app that we talked about in the other episode?
Good question.
They got to show it somewhere. Can't just keep it to themselves. Brad, you were talking about preseason testing. They've already done some preseason testing at Barcelona, which none of it really matters, I suppose.
It doesn't. None of it matters. It's all crap.
But Tanya, you told me something the other day that was very important about that Barcelona testing, which was that the drivers hate their cars.
Yes, I saw. I read some quotes from the drivers, and all of them hate their cars. Sorry, I just jumped in because whatever. But yes, none of them like their cars.
I mean, Barcelona was already several weeks ago, but the more recent news from people is that, I don't know, the driving is very different. Very, very different. Some people are saying it's like, well, Max Verstappen is quoted as saying it's Formula E on steroids. So what exactly that means for them, I don't know. But I also saw something that said about like shifting into first gear and it's really rough.
Oh, for the tight, yeah.
And if you don't do it right, you'll like upset the car and like, why are we like, what are we doing here? And they talk about coasting into corners because it's all about your battery regen. So now it's this whole strategy game you have to play in order to keep like your battery up. And then passing's now like, well, without DRS anymore, I guess they have to go to old school passing. I don't know, but apparently passing super difficult. So what's going to be like parade laps the whole time, and then everybody's just driving under speed to maintain their battery?
It's going to be the worst season. Formula dumb. That's what we're going to start calling it. It's going to be terrible. But let's talk about this racecraft thing for a second, okay? Oh my God, you don't know how to pass? You don't know how to late brake? You don't know how to maneuver? Just watch some Senna versus Prost and you'll see how it's done by the masters. Come on.
I don't know, but apparently Verstappen has already figured out how to shift gears. So
Oh my God. He pushes the same button he pushed before to make it go down. I mean, come on. Really?
And Lewis said something about how people watching aren't going to understand what's going on with like how the rules have changed and how I guess they get to drive and all that stuff. I'm like, that's interesting. I mean, you're either passing someone or you're not. What are the other rules that are going into place?
It's going to look like a giant Alonso train, is what it's going to look like.
I guess the confusing thing is going to be however they're announcing it, where they're like, he is coasting into the corner for his battery regen and blah, blah percent, blah, blah, blah.
So are we going to get live telemetry from the cars showing how much regen that they're doing now on this TV?
They do that at IMSA, or do they do that at Le Mans?
They do that at Le Mans. That's why I'm wondering.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's something that would be available in the F1 app because you could see a lot of telemetry data in the F1 app anyway, depending on what you had. You could get into the driver views and all that stuff.
Has there been any mention about when the cutoff is between the gas-powered engine and the electric motor? To your point about Formula E on steroids, is it going to be mostly electric and then kick over to gas?
I haven't seen anything, so I'd have to research it.
Because the way they're doing it in the prototype cars at like Rolex and Le Mans, places like that, is to a certain speed, it's running under electric and then it kicks over to gas to carry it the rest of the way.
So it's 50-50 apparently.
Urgh.
So I guess that's where it comes in that you have to be really careful with how you drain the battery then because it's half your it's half your power.
So that means Lando's going to be pulled over about lap 5 because he doesn't do very well at keeping his battery up. We saw that last year. He's always like 0. You know what I mean? It's like nothing.
So it'll be interesting to see how they do. I think there's other things about how like the fuel flows are reduced for efficiency and so they got rid of the DRS, but I think there's like still like the Mario Kart turbo boost button or something where they can activate. I think they could do anyway, where they could get a power boost from the batteries, but like that apparently is going to be the only thing they have to pass. But I'm like, don't Slipstream still work? I don't get it.
Drafting is drafting. It hasn't changed in 100
But
years.
I don't know. Maybe we're wrong because they're always talking about the dirty air that you're in when you're following somebody.
Maybe that's something else that we're not understanding.
That's like new math, where we've reinvented math to make it more complicated, but the numbers end up being the same.
Well, I guess it depends. I don't know what the aerodynamic, like how does the air come off the back of them? Is it so turbulent that if you're too far up somebody, you're no longer in a slipstream? Because in a slipstream, the air goes around you and you're in a pocket of no air resistance. And
Correct.
That's why you can keep accelerating and gain. But what if coming off the back of those wings and everything is just this turbulent mess? They would actually hinder you. You wouldn't be in a slipstream.
You know, these cars just need bumpers and a full cockpit and fenders and and then they could bump draft and then they wouldn't have these problems.
You know, if that was true, then Ferrari would stand a chance because they would just put the 499B on track and
Exactly. They need different cars. That's what they need. They just get rid of the shit.
Which was other news, if we didn't already talk about it, because since I can't remember where we talked about anything, is they're actually sending over those engineers from that car and that series to work on the Formula One car. So maybe it's our year.
No, it's just going to be more meh. That's what it's going to be.
But to a point you made, if they have to rely on late braking and drafting and actually passing.
It's called racing. Yes.
Racing.
That thing. Yeah.
Who in the field is probably best suited for that?
Ollie Bierman and Kimi Antonelli. Boom.
Hammy and Alonso And of course, Max Verstappen, because he apparently can do anything.
And Hulkenberg, because
And
he's
Hulkenberg.
ancient too.
And Botus, yeah.
All the old timers are going to be able to drive.
So who knows? I don't know. It'll be interesting, I guess. I guess it's either going to be horrifically boring and god awful, or maybe it'll actually be interesting.
I think it's going to be A and not B.
I can't wait to see the drive to survive of it.
I can't wait to see the first person who depletes the battery and they're stuck going half speed around the track. I don't know.
Money says it's Perez.
I was going to say it's Stroll.
Well, yeah, you're right about that. Never. I put him out of my mind.
Stroll's going to be on a stroll.
I put him out of my mind. I don't know why.
But it's still too early to tell what's going on, because you got Audi is doing terrible, blah blah blah, to like people go, oh no, Audi's progress is amazing in the preseason testing, and then you have like, oh, Red Bull. I saw something posted like Red Bull, I don't know, it's like at least 15 miles an hour faster than the next car, and then you have, oh well, Red Bull's the fourth fastest team right now. It's like,
What lies?
It's all bullshit.
really? But they had the highest top speed, but they're the fourth fastest, and Verstappen's driving. And then, oh, well, Mercedes is sandbagging, and oh, Ferrari. It's like, it's all smoke and mirrors at this point.
It's all lies. But to your point about Audi, Bonotto, talk about hokey pokey with, well, we're going to be amazing. We're going to be terrible. Bonotto came out and said they have reliability issues with the motors already. Haven't they been working on this for like 2 years?
I don't know. I don't know what to believe.
Lies.
I don't know what to believe, because it's smoke and mirrors at the moment.
I've got an unrelated question regarding the race numbers. So Lando Norris won last year. Is he taking the number one? Is Verstappen
Yes.
going back to the 33?
Yes.
Verstappen's going back to a different number. I think he had to go ask Ricardo if he could use the number he was using.
Oh, Ricardo was using 3.
Yeah, so then I think he's going to 3.
Okay.
Why do you have to ask another driver who's retired and isn't even in motorsport anymore if you can use his number?
Maybe it was a courtesy.
Are they registered?
Maybe
I
he
don't
didn't
know.
have to. It was just a courtesy.
You think Max gives a crap about Ricardo?
Never researched it.
That's weird. I did see a chart about the numbers and like numbers that were unallocated and numbers that belong to certain people that they've reused over and like Lewis Hamilton, the 44 and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I didn't understand the significance of that chart, but maybe that's why it all lines up now. They're somehow reserved. But yeah, so Audi has engine troubles. I don't like their livery. I think they should have stuck to what we saw online in the last year's images. I don't like the way it looks. It looks too much like the Cadillac. Did you see the Cadillac? You know, we talked about the Super Bowl and all that stuff in the last episode. Did you stick around till 10:30 to see the Cadillac reveal?
Yes.
Super late, and it was really boring. It was not like anything we talked about. It's like black and silver. That's it.
Well, it had the little lines that's on everything, except they were just black and white, so they're like hard to see. But those like the little rectangles that are like the yellow and the red or whatever. It has those. They're just like black and white. It's grayscale. It's a grayscale car. This thing looks like a newspaper.
So when the Mercedes is coming at you and the Audi's coming at you and the Cadillac's coming at you, you're going to be able to tell the difference? They're literally all the same color. I don't get it.
Well, at least we'll look for the red or the orange on the Audi, and we'll know which one it is.
God, yeah. It looks like it's about to explode from this picture. It looks like it's overheating in the center. It's about to rupture.
Danger to manifold.
But speaking of liveries, you know, Williams was one of the last ones. You guys can say it because I'm a hater and I say it every year, but
there's not much you can do with these cars.
Okay.
In terms of liveries, like honestly, especially with gone are the days that you had the big marble across it or something like that, you know, like.
Yes.
I don't know.
It looks just like last year's car to me because I don't care that much to get into the design of the airfoil on the front. It's a wing. It has a wing. It has wheels that are exposed. But I always like the Duracell thing on the Williams car. I think that's super cute up top. Did you notice the wheels on the Williams, though? Are we going to this style wheel, or are we going to stay with those closed hubcap things that we've had for the last couple of years?
I don't know. I didn't see them.
Look at the Williams closely.
They got spokes.
They got spokes, exactly. And they made them look like a roulette wheel, which I thought was also kind of cool. But that's an open wheel instead of a closed wheel like we've been used to seeing over the last couple of years. So I'm wondering, we're going to see some different wheels, at least kind of shake up the way they look, because they all look the same.
Mm.
I do think this year's car is the best looking car in a while. It looks more like a car from, let's say, the Schumacher era, not with the high nose, but like, the late 80s, early 90s Formula cars. It looks more like last year's Formula car with the funky, multi-layer wings, and it just looked like cat whiskers, and I don't know, it looked goofy. They claim these are shorter. I don't know by how much, but they do look shorter. They look a little bit more compact. So maybe that'll make for a better Monaco race at the end of the day, but I don't know. They all look the same. So on this month's Drive Thru episode, we talked about things going away, closing, being resurrected, stuff like that. You know who's back? Doohan's back.
Back again.
Doohan is going to be the reserve driver at Haas.
Okay, good for him.
So when do they bring back Latifi?
Never. That's no. I mean,
no, we're not gonna. I mean, we kept Stroll around.
We remember what country he's from?
Or are you thinking Mazepin?
Oh yeah, I was thinking Mazepin. Who the hell was Latifi? Oh, he was Canadian, dude. Oh my God, who remembers him?
Apparently not you. I have mixed feelings about this year's Formula One season. A quick lightning round. Are we excited for this year's season, or are we just going to suffer through it? Brad.
I'm excited to actually be able to watch some of the races. So, yes.
Tanya.
No, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing at least. All right. The real question is how many races in does it become meh?
3, just like last season. By the 3rd race.
There's 2 new teams, so it'll be interesting to see Perez and Bottas back and Cadillac, and then seeing the Audi out there, seeing what all these rule changes are and how the cars behave or don't behave under the new engines and the aerodynamics and all that stuff. So I think there's at least several races of something interesting happening.
Followed by a whole lot of meh.
So, look forward to it in that sense. There's changes. There's enough changes to make it at least kind of see how it shakes out. And hopefully it'll be something competitive and not just parade laps at every track. Because if they can't pass, what the hell are we doing? We basically you end the race where you qualified, because like Monaco, every race is Monaco.
Yeah. Do you think that if that's how Australia feels, that every race is going to be like that, or is it going to be track dependent?
I think if every race starts becoming parade laps, these drivers are going to flip their lids.
There'll be a rule change mid-season.
There's going to be something that changes because they're going to be pissed.
What does the sanctioning body care about that? It's Formula One. This is the formula we came up with. Figure it out. Isn't that how they take their arrogant attitude towards it?
And what if all your drivers say, fuck you?
Yeah, what if the fans stop watching? What if the ratings drop?
That's why you have people like Doohan waiting to take somebody's seat.
We'll see. I mean, they'll lose viewership because they're going to lose all their American viewership, because if they're bored, they're not going to sit there fucking watching.
They're already going to lose their viewership anyway by switching everybody to Apple TV. So, I'm not saying they're losing everybody to get Apple. That's a whole thing. If you're not already there, or you're not and even if you are an Apple device owner, it's a whole nother thing. It's like, how many more services are there?
Or it's just the excuse somebody needed to get Apple TV, because to your point, it's cheaper to pay for the Apple TV subscription than the F1 subscription was.
Only so you can watch the Brad Pitt movie. That's why I'm doing it.
There's other shows there you want to see.
That's true, but the pool is not very deep on that side.
No, I have Apple TV and I literally never turn it on.
Probably turn it on more than you turn on Amazon Prime. Can you imagine if Formula One was on Amazon Prime?
I actually use Amazon Prime daily because of the kids.
I do not.
Well, almost daily.
I don't know. I am on the fence about this Formula One season. I guess we only have a couple more weeks to wait, and we'll know, and we'll be able to talk about what's actually happening. It's such a slog to get to this point, but every day seems like a new piece of news. But by the time this episode airs, we're within 2 weeks of the first race. So there we go, right?
So after all the testing, who's going to win? Has your prediction changed?
it's going to be Max's year again because the McLaren boys aren't going to be able to figure it out. It's Oscar, it's Kimi. I'm keeping an eye on Bierman, and I don't know what to say about the rest of them.
I know who's not going to win.
Stroll. Terrible.
We don't know. We don't know because the other twist to the plot is we have an Adrian Newey car.
In order to win, you have to finish.
That's not going to happen.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. We'll just have to wait and see. Wait and see.
Taste the goodness of Formula One. Oh, Brad, you had something here for us to wrap up this Formula One episode with. What was this clip from Instagram?
Just a little fun clip that came across my feed from a racing season back in 2024. It wasn't F1, it was Super Formula.
Okay.
But basically, the drivers, there was a safety car out on the track, and the safety car was going so fast, the drivers were having a hard time keeping up with it. It was a Mark V Toyota Supra driven by Koji Obara, who I guess is a great driver, obviously. But the commentary from the other drivers in the field were kind of funny, talking about how fast the safety car was. They couldn't even keep up with it, commenting on entering and exiting the turns and everything. So it's just a fun little clip to get us like kind of jazzed for the season.
He is booking.
He's whipping that thing around. He's kicking ass. And then the drivers are like, is that safety car always that quick?
I do like that. I thought that was really cool. No, that's a good way to end this episode and, puts us on a high note for the Formula One season. So let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming and we'll talk more.
The Drive Thru is our monthly news episode and is sponsored in part by organizations like CollectorCarGuide.net, Project Motoring, Garage Style Magazine, the Exotic Car Marketplace, and many others. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor of the Drive Thru, look no further than www.motoringpodcast.net. Click About and then Advertising. Thank you again to everyone that supports the Motoring Podcast Network, Grand Touring Motorsports, our podcast Break Fix, and all the other services we provide.